we start? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين اللهم صل على محمد We started discussion on the 3 verses that talks about Ramadan, where Allah is saying, "A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykum as-siyamu kama kutiba alal ladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun," to the end of the verses. Here we have spoken, we have done the preamble, and the Mufassir is explaining what is meant by Shahr Ramadan alladhi unzila fihi al-Quran. As we can see in the verse, there is a place there where Almighty Allah is saying, فَمَنْ شَهِدَ مِنْكُمُ الشَّهْرَ فَلْيَصُمْهُ وَمَنْ كَانَ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَىٰ سَفَرٍ فَعِدَّةٌ مِنْ أَيَّامٍ أُخَرَ, which is the last verse of these verses that we are discussing. Then he said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala laid emphasis, second time again, law concerning Musafir, the traveler, wal married, and someone who is ill. Then now, someone who is ill, he said, تكرار حكم المسافر والمريض في هذه الآية والآية السابقة. He said repetition of this verse and the previous verse that came before this time. والآية السابقة where Allah is saying أياما معدودات فمن كان منكم مريضا أو على سفر فعدة من أيام أخر وعلى الذين يطيقون فدية طعام مسكين. He said there are repetition because this is the first one that came. In this second one again, Almighty Allah repeat the same thing. He said, Nam, قَدْ يَكُونُ sabab. Why Almighty Allah? Why does he make repetition? The same thing he said here. وَمَنْ كَانَ مِنْكُمْ مَرِيضًا أَوْ عَلَى سَفَرٍ. Why this repetition? قَدْ يَكُونُ sabab كراهية بعض المسلمين ألا يصوم أيام الشهر رمضان حتى ولو كان مرضى أو مسافرين. He said, the reason might not be far from the fact that some Muslims, during the month of Ramadan, even if they are sick or they are on journey, they don't want to stop fasting. That is why Allah repeated it. I don't know whether we understand. He said the reason why Almighty Allah repeat this verse here is because of some Muslims. Whether they are on journey or they are sick, they still want to fast. And as we all know, there are some people who always say that, how can I stay without fasting? That is, even if they are sick, they still want to force themselves to fast. He said that might be the reason why Almighty is repeating that if you are sick and you are on journey, you should not fast. It might be the reason why Almighty Allah repeated. While Quran bihadha tikrar yufhimul muslimin. He said Quran with this repetition made Muslims to understand anna sawma, that fasting fi halati salam, when you are healthy, fi halati salam wal khidr hukmu ilahi, when you are healthy and you are present, you are around, you didn't travel, it's a divine law, you should fast. Wal iftar fi hali safar wal marda hukmu ilahi aidan. He said where you should not fast, you should break your fast fi hali safar, when you are on journey and when you are sick. It's another divine law. That is, none of them, all of them are divine what? Divine laws. Then aidan la tajuzu mukhalafati, you are not allowed to go contrary to divine laws. The first divine law is that on a normal situation, you are okay, you are not sick, you are not traveling, fasting is incumbent on you. But when you are on journey or you are sick, it's another divine law that you should not fast. Therefore, you don't need to put law into your hand and say, that is why you still see some people today, when they are on journey, said, no, I feel I'm strong to fast. No, the issue is not a matter of strong or not strong. The issue is that if you are on journey, Almighty Allah says you should not fast. Both of them are divine laws. وفي آخر آية إشارة أخرى. He said in the end of the verse there is another indication. إلى فلسفة تشريع الصوم, the philosophy behind legislation of fasting. What is that philosophy? You read the law of bikum al-yusra. Allah wanted ease for you. He does not want to put you in hardship. Wala you read the bikum al-yusra, and He does not want to put you in hardship. Allah wanted ease for you, and He does not want to put you in hardship. Now, for some, He said fasting, وَإِنْ كَانَ عَلَى الظَّاهِرِ, apparently. Now, let's read it before we come to the other one. فَصَوْمُ مُؤَدَّاهُ رَاحَةَ الْإِنسَانِ وَنَفْئِهِ عَلَى صَعِيدَيْنِ الْمَادِّي وَالْمَعنَوِي. He said fasting, the ultimate aim of fasting is that it is for the sake of human being, for the benefit of human being, a means of human comfort and benefit on the material and moral levels. It is our own benefit. It is our comfort, both in material and moral levels. وَإِنْ كَانَ لَظَاهِرٍ نَوْعًا مِنَ التَّضْيِيقِ وَالتَّعْدِيلِ. Even if to a certain level, apparently, it is a source of inconvenience for us. That is, you feel inconvenient when you are fasting, you cannot drink water, you cannot talk anyhow. Is that also? He said, yes, وَسَيَأْتِ تَفْسِيرُ ذَلِكَ فِي بَعْضِ فَلْسَفَةِ الصَّوْمِ. He said, the explanation will come when we are doing research work on philosophy of what is the philosophy behind fasting. وَلَعَلَّ هَذِهِ الْإِبَارَةِ. He said, probably this expression, إِشَارَةٌ إِلَىٰ أَنَّ الْأَوَامِرَ الْإِلَهِيَّةَ, is an indication that the divine commandment, لَيْسَتْ كَأَوَامِرِ الْحَاكِمِ الظَّالِمِ, is not like the law of unjust what? Ruler. There are two different things. Divine law differ from the law of an oppressor. Oppressor. Then he said, فَفِي الصَّوْمِ رُخْصٌ حَيْثُ مَا كَانَ فِيهِ مَشَقَّةٌ. He said, in fasting, there is rukhsah. There's what we call rukhsah, relief. There's relief when you face hardship. We said it here last time, that at times you may even be fasting. When you are doing this fasting, what will happen? You feel maybe an hour to the time of iftar, but it becomes an issue that you cannot endure. It becomes very difficult for you to endure. And at that particular time, if you don't break your fast, it can lead to another thing. Almighty Allah give us relief that we can break our fast. Yes, He said, when it is inconvenient and there is hardship, Allah saw him for somebody fasting. In that case, taklif as-sawm is taken away from that person fasting. The obligation is no more there for that person that is fasting. Allah ahmiyati, upon all its importance. We know you wanted to fast, but now you are on journey, and Almighty Allah says, when you are on journey, you should not fast. Then do we know more than Almighty Allah? Almighty Allah is the owner of His religion. Therefore, when He gives command, that is divine law. The same law that says you should fast, if everything is okay, the same law is saying now that when you are sick, you should not fast. You still see some people, they are sick, they will tell you, how can I live fasting? No, I cannot. And the sickness can lead to a very serious one. Therefore, once it's confirmed that this sickness, you cannot fast with it, from a reliable doctor, you should not fast, at least for that day or for those days that it will be inconvenient for you. Now, ثم تقول الآية, then the verse is saying, وَلْتُكْمِلُ الْإِدَّةَ, you should complete the period. What is the period? Period of what? 1 month. You should complete it. يُلْزَمَ عَلَى كُلِّ إِنسَانٍ سَلِيمٍ. It is compulsory for a healthy person, and yasuma sharon, to fast complete what? 1 month. If you are healthy throughout the whole Ramadan, you are not allowed to break the fast. You must fast. And if you intentionally refuse to fast for any day out of that 1 month, then that is what we call kafara. You must do kafara. Kafara of 60 days plus 1, that is 61 days. You must do kafara because you refuse to do it. Then, فَذَلِكَ ضُرُورِيٌّ. He said, this is necessary. Why is it necessary? لِتَرْبِيَةِ جِسْمِ وَنَفْسِهِ. For the physical and mental well-being of human being. It is compulsory for you. It is not just physically you are not fasting. Even for your mental well-being, fasting is good for you. He said, لِذَلِكَ. For that, وَجَبَ عَلَى الْمَرِيضِ. It is compulsory for one who is sick, وَالْمُسَافِرِ, and one who is on journey, and يَقْضِيَ مَا فَاتَهُ مِنْ شَهْرِ Ramadan, to make up that one that he missed during the month of Ramadan. لِيُكْمِلِ الْإِدَّةِ, so that he can complete that period of 1 month. After, maybe for one reason or the other, you miss 5 days. You are either traveling or you are sick. Then after Ramadan, what is expected from you is what? Is to make up for those 5 days you missed. Then take your time, try to make up for those 5 days. وَحَتَّى الْحَيْض. He said, even al-haid, a woman seeing her monthly period. Yes, that particular time he seeing her monthly period, she cannot fast. But after her monthly period and after Ramadan, she has to make up those days that she missed. التي أوفيت من قضاء الصلاة. If we could remember in fiqh, lady that you see her monthly period, when during her monthly period she's not expected to pray salat, and she's not expected to pay back for it. But as for Ramadan, she has to make up. That is the difference. In salat, she doesn't need to make up, but in fasting, she has to make up. Gairu Mafun and Qadai Som, he said she's not exempted from fasting, from making up from the fasting that she missed during her monthly period. Wal ibaratul akhirah, the last expression where Almighty Allah is saying, wal tukabbiru Allah ala ma hadakum, and you should magnify Almighty Allah for that guidance He has given you, wala allakum tashkurun, so that you can be you can be grateful to Almighty Allah. Litukabbiru, that is magnifying, that is by glorifying ala ma wafara lakum min sabilil hidayah, by making you to giving you the guidance. Walitashkuru, and thanks Him ala ma anama alaykum, for that favor He has done for you. You need to thank Almighty Allah for those things. Ashukru fil ayah mazbukum bi kalimatin. He said, when Almighty said shukur, He said mazbukun. It's before it there is kalima la Allah, so that you may give thanks. Lakin takbir, but when He's saying walitukabbiru Allah alama, He said, when He mentioned the takbir muakkad bi shakli qati, that is definite affirmation. He does not put la Allah in it. Very mazbuki bitabaru, that is without any putting like maybe. He does not put it. But when he was bringing the issue of shukur, he brought the word la allakum tashkurun. But in this, when he brought the issue of kabara dia takbir, he said that one is definite affirmation. وَقَدْ يَعُودُ الْإِخْتِلَافِ. Why is these differences? He said the differences with tabir in this expression ila ana ibadat as-sawm, that the worship of fasting here ala kulli hali takbirullah, in all condition is magnifying Almighty Allah, wa ta'zimul lahu, and glorifying Him. Amma shukur, but when he said la allakum tashkurun wa huwa infaq ni'am, is to spend those ni'am, those favors He has done for you, fi mawadiha, in its place. Spend what He has given you in His where you're supposed to spend it. Wal istifada min al athal al amaliya al-sawm, and benefit from the practical effect of what? Of Ramadan. Falahu shurutun ahammuha al-ikhlas. He said fasting has shurut, and the most important of these shurut is what? Is ikhlas. What is ikhlas? Intention. That is, you commit yourself to Almighty Allah, and you say that it is only Allah I am committing this fasting for. You are not doing it for any other person. He said absolute sincerity. Absolute sincerity to Almighty Allah. Then wafahim hakikati sawm, and understanding the real what is meant by sawm. As we said yesterday, Some does not just mean what? Does not just mean to stop eating. وَالْإِطِّلَاءَ عَلَى أَبْعَادِهِ وَأَعْمَاقِهِ, and having enough information about its dimension and in all ramifications. You have to know what Sawm means, because without knowing all this, there's likely you will not get it right. You will just think that fasting is just to keep your mouth shut, don't eat food and don't drink water. Whereas we said yesterday that when one is fasting, it is expected that it is the whole body fasting. Physical body is involved in it, spiritual aspect of it, moral aspect of it. It has to be complete one. Said Buhuthun. Here there is a research work. Al-Atharu Tarbawiyya wal-Ijtimaiyya wa-Sihiyya li-Sawm. He said the educational and social and health effect of Ramadan. What is the educational and social and health effect of Ramadan? When you fast, all these things, it has its effect. Li-Sawm ab'ad muta'addida. He said for fasting, it has a multiple dimensions. Fasting has multiple dimensions. Wa-atharun gorizatun, and it has profound effect. Madiya wa manawiya, both materially and morally. Fi wujud al-insan, in the existence of human being. Wa ahammuha al-bod al-akhlaq. He said the most important one is the moral aspect of Ramadan. What Tarubawi, and the educational aspect and the training aspect, because it's a month of training. You are now training yourself for the whole 1 year. 1 month is reserved for you to train yourself, because you are a human being. There's likely you may involve in one thing or the other, but this month you use it to bring yourself back to reform yourself. Min fawaid Sawm al-Hamma. He said among the benefits of Sawm that is very, very important, Taltif ruh al-insan, is the refinement of the spirit of what? Of human being. You have to refine your spirit. You have to make it very, very uplifting. Don't leave it to be the way it was last year. Watakuya to iradati, and you strengthen your resolve. What do you mean by strengthening your resolve? In Ramadan, you strengthen your resolve. You resolve that this particular thing I am used to doing, I don't want to do it. You have to strengthen it. You have to make it very strong. Watadil goraizahu, and you have to moderate your instincts. Allah Sa'im and Yakufa ala ta'am. He said, it is on Sa'im, someone who is fasting, and Yakufa and ta'am, that he should abstain from eating, washarab, and drinking, ala ragmin fi jawi, upon all that he is hungry, wa'achi, and he is thirsty. But it is a must that he should restrain himself from eating and drinking upon all that he is hungry and is what? Is thirsty. Wahakaza alayhi. He said the same thing happened, and Yakuf and Mumarasat al-amal al-jinsi, that he should also restrain himself from to involve himself in anything sexual intercourse with any woman. We all know that during the month of Ramadan, from morning after Fajr till Maghrib and Isha, you are not allowed to have anything sex with either your wife or any other person. It's not allowed. لِيَثْبُتَ مَلِيًّا, so that he can establish practically, and now لَيْسَ بِالْحَيْوَانِ الْأَسِيرِ, that is not a captive animal. بَيْنَ الْمُؤَلَّفِ وَالْمَرْجَى, between the fodder and the bedded. What do we mean by that? Between the fodder and the bedded. He said it is a metaphor that describes a state of total dependency and confinement. The animal is caught in a cycle where its only two guaranteed states are being fed and being what? Housed. That is bedded in cycle. It has no agency to hunt, forage, or choose its own shelter. The expression is often used metaphorically to describe anyone, human or animal, who is physically cared for, but has lost their freedom and purpose. Now, he's saying, وَأَنَّهُ يَسْتَطِيعُ أَنْ يُسَيْطِرَ عَلَى نَفْسِهِ, so al-jamiha, so that he will be able to have control over his inordinate self. He should be able to have control over himself. وَعَلَى أَهْوَائِ وَشَهَوَاتِهِ, and have control over his whims and desires. That is the essence of fasting. So that at the end of Ramadan, there are some certain things that you always obey your whims and desire. You are expected to reduce. We said it yesterday, you may not be an angel after Ramadan, but at least you should be able to examine yourself. You should be able to take account of yourself, whether you have grown after Ramadan or you have what? You have not grown. You have to check yourself. If at the end you find out that at least to a certain level I have abandoned some of those vices that I'm involved in, then you should go and thank Almighty Allah. But if you discover that nothing has changed, then you still have to be begging Almighty Allah that, oh Allah, give me another chance for next Ramadan so that I can refine myself, I can reform myself. Then Al-Atharu Ruhi wal Manawi, he said the moral, spiritual and moral aspect of Ramadan, the moral and spiritual aspect of Ramadan, yushakkilu a'zamu janib, he said it constitutes a greater side of the philosophy behind Ramadan. The spiritual and moral aspect constitute a greater side of the philosophy behind what? This ibadah, which is fasting. مثل الإنسان الذي يعيش إلى جوار أنواع الأطعمة. He wants to give an example that he said it's just like a man who lives very close to what? Multiple types of food, different types. See hen here, see cow here, see other foods here. While ashraba and drinks. لا يكاد يحس بجوع. Hardly will he feel hungry or atash or thirsty. حتى يمد يده إلى ما لذ, until he extend himself to that delicious things. He has it with him. He can easily extend himself to those delicious things. He said, such person is just like shajarati, is just like a tree. Taish ila jawari nar, that lives close to what? To river. Wafir al-miyah, that has abundant water. Ma in yankota anhal ma, in such a way that if water is cut away from it, yawman, for one day, hatta tazil wa tasfar, it becomes what? It turns to yellow. Tree that has access to water, he makes use of it. But if this water is cut away from him, you don't expect the tree to be the same. Definitely. Then he said, أما الأشجار التي تنبت بين الصخور وفي الصحار المغفرة. He said, as for the tree that grows between the rocks and the desolate, what do we call it, desert. وَتَتَعَرَّضَ مُنْذَ وَيْلٍ إِنْبَاتُهَا, and this tree is exposed from the beginning of its growth إِلَى رِيَاءِ الْأَتْبَةِ, to a very fierce what? Riyah, that is wind. This tree is exposed to it. وَحَرَارَةِ الشَّمْسِ الْمُهْرِقَةِ, and it is also exposed to a very scorching hot what? Sun. وَبُرُودَةِ الْجَوْ, and is facing a biting cold also. وَتَوَجَّهَ دَائِمًا, all the time he faced all kind of challenges, this kind of tree. فَإِنَّهَا أَشْجَارٌ قَوِيَّةٌ, that kind of tree, when it's able to survive it becomes very what? Very strong. Qawiyya, solba, it becomes strong, hardy and resilient trees. وَصَوْمْ لَهُ مِثْلُ هَذَا الْأَثَرِ, he said Ramadan has this type of what? Of effect. That is, after you face all kind of hardship when you are fasting, you cannot eat food, you cannot drink water. When you open your mouth to talk, you quickly close it that, oh Allah, if I say this now, my fasting may what? May spoil. Then all this kind of hardship is relating, he said, somebody who is fasting is just like, وَصَوْمْ لَهُ مِثْلُ هَذَا الْأَثَرِ, he said, fasting has this type of effect في نفس الإنسان, in the human body. That you are able to train yourself, you are able to withstand all kind of temptation during Ramadan. What happened? After Ramadan, you become what? Very strong. There are certain things in your life you will never go to it because you have already gone beyond it. You have trained yourself in Ramadan. You have learned how to keep silent in Ramadan. You have learned how not to talk unnecessarily. You only talk when it is what? When it is necessary. When it is not necessary, you keep silent. Yeah? فَبِهَذِهِ الْقُيُودِ الْمُؤَقَّتَةِ He said, with this temporary restriction that you have, يَمْنَهُ الْقُدْرَةِ it will give you that power, capability, وَقُوَّةِ الْإِرَادَةِ and goodwill, وَعَزِيمَةِ الْكَفَاءِ and struggle, determination to struggle. كَمَا يَبَثُ فِي نَفْسِهِ نُورٍ and the same fasting will raise in you nur. You will see kind of nur, light in you, وَالصَّفَاءِ and tranquility. You see calmness, tranquility. After Ramadan, you see people will have to observe. You are not doing it for people, but that is impact. I don't know whether we understand these two things. You are not doing it for people, but the impact of Ramadan will make people to observe that this man has changed to certain what? To certain level. Then he said, Bada and you say it after he has having control over his unruly instincts, behavior. Because now you have gotten control over yourself. You are not a kind of person that you talk anyhow now. You are not the kind of person that you sit down where people are talking nonsense, where people are just vomiting. You sit down with them and be vomiting. People will see that you have gotten changed to a certain level. بعبارة موجزة in a precise expression الصوم يرفع الإنسان من عالم البهيمة إلى عالم الملائكة. Allah Karim. He said, الصوم, fasting, يرفع الإنسان, elevate human being from animalistic world to the angelic world. I don't know whether I'm understood. Fasting elevate human being from animalistic world to angelic world. Then وَإِبَارَةٌ لَأَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. This expression, when Almighty says لَأَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ, so that you may have what? Piety. تُشِيرُ إِلَى هَذِهِ الْحَقَائِقِ. This is what it's saying, is indicating, this is what it indicates. It indicates this reality, that if you are able to fast the way Almighty Allah wanted you to fast, definitely you may only live on this side, but you are in another world. You are in the Alam al-Malaika. That is the word of what? Of angel. That is angelic word. Now, وهكذا الحديث المعروف. That is, there is a hadith that is well known. This is what he said: as-sawm junnatu minan nar. Fasting is a shield from what? From hellfire. If you fast, it serves as a shield. We all know what shield is. It protects from harm. Is that not so? Yushiru ila hadhihi al-haqaiq. He said, he's pointing to this reality. One Ali alayhi salam, Imam Ali alayhi salam is related from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and he related it from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. And now suila an tariq mujabahati shaitan. What are the ways by which we can confront shaitan? Rasulullah was asked, what are the ways by which we can confront shaitan? Qala as-sawm yusawwidu wajhahu. With fasting. When you fast, it blackens Satan's face. Then was sadaqatu tuksiru dhahrahu. When you do sadaqah, it breaks its back, Satan's back. Wal hub fillahi. He said, love for the sake of Almighty Allah. Wal muwazabata ala al-amal as-salih, and perseverance in doing good acts. Because even doing good acts needs patience. If you don't have patience, you can't do it. Yaqta dabiro, he said it cut its root, the roots of Satan. These are the ways to confront what? Satan. Then, wal istighfar yaqta watinahu. With istighfar, it cuts its jugular vein. These are the ways to confront Satan. That is, we should involve ourselves in sadaqah, we should involve ourselves in al-amal as-salih, good acts, and we should involve ourselves in istighfar, doing istighfar, where, and we should also involve ourselves in sawm, in fasting. When we do this, we are directly or indirectly confronting what? Shayateen, inshallah al-kareem. وفي نهج البلاغة, in نهج البلاغة عرض لفلسفة العبادات. It is presented here the philosophy of what? Of worship. وفيه يقول أمير المؤمنين is saying عليه السلام والصيام ابتلاء لإخلاص الخلق. He said, Sawm is a tribulation to test the sincerity of human being. To test the sincerity of who? Of the creatures. It's not easy. That is why when you as a person is fasting, you see it as easy because for one reason or the other, Allah has made it easy for you. But there are some people you cannot convince to fast 30 days without eating in the afternoon. They will see it as musibah. They will see it as calamity. How can I stay for 30 days from morning till evening without eating food? Then, waruyan in Nabi, it is also related from the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Inna lil jannati baban yudda ar-rayyan. He said in Jannah there is a door called Rayyan. La yadkhul fiha illa sa'imun. Nobody enters through that door except those who fast. May Allah make us one of them. Then Yakul al-Marhum Saduq, as we all know Saduq, one of our great alim, he said, في معاني الأخبار, in a book called معاني الأخبار, مؤلقا على هذا الحديث, when he was commenting on this hadith, إنما سمي هذا الباب بالريان. He said this door was named Rayyan لأن مشقة الصائم, because the mashaqqa, the hardship of a fasting person, إنما تكون في الأغلب من العطش. Most of the time is from what? Atash. That is thirsty. Most of it. That is why, as far as science is concerned, you can live without food for days. I think, if I'm not for 20-something days. But you cannot live without water more than 3 what? More than 3 days. You cannot live without water more than 3 days. Therefore, he said most of the hardship of fasting is on what? Is in thirsty. You feel thirsty most of the time. وَإِنَّمَا يَدْخُلُ الصَّائِمُونَ مِنْ هَذَا الْبَابِ. He said, at the Swaimun, those who fast, when they are entering this bab, we said, Babu Rayyan, يَرْتَعُونَ حَتَّى لَا يَزْمَعُ. They quench, they are thirsty, and they will never feel thirsty again. When they enter through that door. Badahu abadan. Al-atharu li-ijtimai, he said, the social effect of the person fasting, la yakhfa ala ahadi. He said it's not hidden to anybody. Fasawmu darusul musawat. He said the fasting has taught us what? Equality. What is that equality? Baina afrad al-mujtama, between the individuals in society. It has taught us the equality. When fasting comes, there's no, Allah does not say, oh, the bourgeois, you can fast from morning till 12 and break your own. The poor ones, you should fast from morning till when? Till Maghrib. No, everybody. What is said that should not be done by anybody. Whether you are bourgeois, you are rich, or you are not rich. That is one of the equality that Almighty has put in Ramadan. Al-Musirun, he said, the well-to-do people. Yahisuna bima yu'ani. They also feel the plight of the poor ones. That is when they come to their senses, when they feel hungry. Is this how the Fuqara used to feel hungry without food? Is this how they feel hungry? Wa ala tariq al-iqtisad fi istihlak al-mawad. In this case now, they will learn how to economize in food items. Yastatiuna an yaibul musaadati. Then from there, they will learn how to give musaada, give help to those who are what? Who are in need. Now, قد يمكن تأسيس الأغنياء بما يعانيه الفقراء عن طريق الكلام والخطابة. He said, at times, the agniya, the rich ones, those who are well-to-do, they may be sensitized. When you talk, you do as it to them, they will just be shaking head. You don't know what ordinary person is facing in the society. At times, you see somebody, a fakir, will stay from morning till the evening without food. He will just be shaking his head because he thinks he understands what you are saying. Lakin al-mas'ala. But the whole issue is that hina tutakhadhu tabi'an hissi and ayniya. When he feel it practically, he has the sensory feeling of it. Laha tathiru al-aqwa wal-ablag. In that case, it will have a very great effect and impact. Because it's not a matter of wazi now. It's not only you are doing wazi that ordinary man feel hungry. But now he is also fasting. He knows what it is to be hungry. In this case now, the practical aspect of it will teach him lesson more than what? When you preach to him. الصوم يمنع هذه المسألة الهامة الاجتماع لونا نسيا. He said fasting gives this issue, this important issue, social, the in society لونا نسيا, sensory color. What do we mean? لذلك يقول إمام صادق عليه السلام is saying في جواب عن سؤال بشأن علة الصوم, when he was asked what is the reason behind fasting. Somebody will ask, how can Allah, what is even the reason, what is the logic behind Allah telling us to fast from morning, from Fajr till dawn? What is it? Somebody asked Imam Jafar, Imam Sadiq, إِنَّمَا فَرَضَ اللَّهُ صِيَامٍ لِيَسْتَوِي الْبِهِ الْغَنِيُّ وَالْفَقِيرُ. He said Allah makes some compulsory to make it equal for both the rich ones and the poor ones. So that they will feel it. They will know what the ordinary person in the society feel. So that they will know that we are all equal before who? Before Almighty Allah. Now, وَذَلِكَ إِنَ الْغَنِيِّ, because the well-to-do, the rich person, لَمْ يَكُنْ لِيَجِدَ مَسَّ, he said he cannot feel the pangs, the pain of what? Of hunger. He cannot feel it. A rich man, what we make, except if he can only tell you that I don't feel to eat, not because he's hungry. He doesn't feel to eat. If not, foods are there, all types of food. But Allah makes it that from dawn to the what? To Maghrib time, to the sunset, he should not eat also, so that he will feel that pain an ordinary person feel in the society. In that case, he said, فَيَرْحَمُ الْفَقِيرِ. He said, after feeling it, then he will learn how to have mercy on who? On the poor man, poor person. He will learn how to have mercy on them. وَإِنَّ الْغَنِيِّ, because a rich man, كُلَّمَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا, anytime he wants something, قَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ, he has what it takes to have it. You just call somebody, I need a house. Help me check house in Metama, 1.2 billion. My budget is not more than 1.2 billion. He has the money. He will just call his agent. I want to go to London tomorrow. Please book ticket for me. First class, 5 million. Economic class, 1.2. He said, book first class. Book first class. He has all what it takes. But as a poor man, this time now, when he is fasting, he will know the equality between him and the other person. That fasting will teach him how to have mercy. He said, as for the rich person, the person who is able to do, كُلَّمَا أَرَادَ شَيْئًا, anytime he wants something, قَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ, he can get it. فَأَرَادَ اللَّهُ تَعَالَى, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted what? And يُسَوِّيَ بَيْنَ خَلْقِهِ, to make equal all his creatures when Ramadan comes. We should all be equal. If you say you are big, okay, go and eat food, let me see you. It's time, go and eat food, let me see you. وَأَنْ يُذِيقَ الْغَنِيِّ مَسَ الْجُوعِ, so that this rich man will taste what مَسَ الْجُوعِ, what it is for somebody to be hungry. وَالْأَلَمَ, and the pain that is it. لِيَرُقَّ عَلَى الضَّعِيفِ وَيَرْحَمُ الْجَائِعِ, so that he can have compassion for the weak one, for the mustadafin. وَيَرْحَمُ الْجَائِعِ, and he can have mercy also for somebody who is hungry. Inshallah, I think we should stop here. Maghrib is already here. Inshallah, we'll continue tomorrow. Wa sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi tayyibin at-tahirin.